CFM Radio, it is Wednesday, my dudes.
CFM Radio, welcome back for your weekly dose of video game music and news. What is up, Vector?
Video game music and news, what's going on, Drix? And you know what? We've actually been a little bit light on the news as of late. And you know, we're going to continue this trend, but next week we're going to come back at you with some news. Because, Drix, there's just been so many games.
Yeah, I mean, I'd like to call something such as the Steam Next Fest, newsworthy, because I tried to play some more demos last night, and a lot of them were turned off. It's like, nope, this was just a limited time only event, so semi-exclusive based on when you kind of show up to the party. Like, you might completely miss it. So we've got a couple little tastes later in the show of the things we got a chance to play, and things you might want to add to your wish list on your Steam PC account.
Absolutely. PC gaming.
Or Steam Deck.
Yeah, true. Steam Deck. I always forget about that thing. That thing is carrying the water for the PC gaming crowd. You know, you see a lot of these videos online. I do more than just gaming with my Steam Deck, so it seems like a pretty versatile device.
Yeah, and a pretty historic, lengthy time span that people have been building their libraries. So all
seriously,
kind of stuff yeah.
Talking digital libraries, most important thing in the world when it comes to video games. Because Drix,
we got them.
Oh yeah.
Physical.
Oh Drix, you and I, we play digital games every week. You were playing. Of course, I was trying and failing at Marvel Rivals, but you are playing some WrestleQuest, and damn, what a stream last week. Or this one, on Monday. This Monday, if you missed it, damn, you guys missed a hell of a stream.
Yeah, man, I'm starting to understand this whole, toy aesthetic that they had.
It was so awesome.
It feels very, small soldiers, sergeant, heroes, army men, There's sometimes there's toy style games, and they kind of hit this mark that's like, yeah, this is fun and kind of silly, a lot of jokes, some even kind of like any good cartoon. It's like, oh, wow, there's a little bit of adult humor if you missed it out, Neo Cortex talking about giant bags of ice for his head. It's like, oh, so funny.
I mean, I was getting into that too, because when I was
Metal Gear Solid references, there's a PC called Foxhound, and it's like, okay, yeah, we get each other, we understand here.
I was getting into that too, because it feels like a really cool way to customize your characters.
Yeah, I was in the military wrestling part of town too.
Yeah,
so everybody I'm fighting is like a army man. Or
all the themed worlds.
There was an enemy who presents female, and her name was Viper or something. It was like a total Metal Gear Solid reference.
There's so much charm to WrestleQuest, and so much great nods to not just video games, but amazing wrestlers, real world wrestlers. Like Diamond Dallas Page was a prominent character in last stream.
I was trying to collect Sergeant Slaughter's itty bitty ditty bag.
Yeah.
Super. Who knows what's in there?
Jesus. Super awesome to see. But I mean, Drix, I think I just gotta get used to it, because you're just leaving us on cliffhangers, and I just think that's just the game. It's just awesome moment after awesome moment. It just doesn't stop.
Yeah, because you can always switch protagonists, and it's nice to kind of leave your fans and viewers and people who watch you perform wanting more. You don't need to play, grown-up peekaboo as a band and come back and play a couple more songs after they think you left the stage. Just stop right then and there and just leave them wanting some more and awaiting your next show.
Absolutely. But hey, you know what? It's not just last part about WrestleQuest. One of the cool parts that I think, and it's true to wrestling, is that, Drix, that morality system they got going on.
Yeah, you earn fucking hype hype buffs and debuffs and stuff. You can really kind of play on the crowd. Certain gimmicks and abilities you can only use if you have so much hype. So I'm like, yeah, I'm gonna jump off the ropes first and then hype up the crowd before landing like the big slam. I made friends with a luchador. His name is Lochador, I believe. That's how I'm pronouncing it for now. But he's like a fish themed.
Yeah, the fish
wrestler.
man.
Yeah, and man, he's got quite a corkscrew splash that damages all the enemies, and I'm just loving all that.
I mean, to be honest with you, I didn't think that hype system was gonna get that deep, but it really changes the game.
End of battle bonuses, man.
Yep. You can never discount that kind of stuff. And you know what? Again, not gonna be about next week, but the week after.
Yes, that's gonna be March 17th, right after St. Patrick's Day. So might be throwing back a Guinness with you guys.
Which should be a great show. Wind down with some RPG theater right after a St. Patty's Day celebration. Should be awesome to kick back to. But I think, Drix, before we take a break, let's jump into our first demo impression. What did you want to talk about?
Real quick. Well, first off, I beat Time Splitters 1 and 2. I'm playing a little bit of the music.
Oh, wow.
From
you
that
already
right
beat
now.
it?
Well, on easy, okay? So you can play it again on the harder difficulties. But yeah, I opened up with the Time Splitters front end, and right now you're hearing the Spaceways track. But yeah, the first two games are kind of like more 007 GoldenEye aiming methods. And then by the time you reach the third one in the trilogy, Future Perfect, now it's like, okay, it's Call of Duty, it's Halo. Your aim is like locked in the center of the screen, and you don't have to like hold a button to move around. It's not as friendly auto aim, but man, when they're splitting time, they really teleport in front of you, and you gotta look behind every corner and keep an eye out for those time splitters.
Oh wow!
But,
I didn't even really think. I thought you had just got it. I didn't think you would blast through that so fast. That's fucking awesome. Though.
Yeah. Well, Time Splitters 1 and 2 on easy at first, because of course you can go back and play it on normal and hard. But yeah, that was a good time. But as far as the next fest goes, throw up some FIFA 98, because I got to give a shout out to this one-man game developer operation.
Give me 1 second. We might give me. Yeah, there we go. FIFA.
Yeah. Because we're retro fans here at Clusterfucked Media.
This looks hilarious.
CFM Radio, and me specifically, but I love kind of like Undertale. I always love a good like one-man developer story of just like some guy in his garage or parents' house or who knows, just really whipping out this game, which is it's like an arcade soccer game. There's a lot of really fun, kind of old school soccer games for like the Neo Geo or even for like retro consoles and stuff. But this is really inspired by stuff like that. And if you can't tell already by the B-roll, it's pretty horror themed.
Yeah, no kidding.
I think it's absolutely hilarious. Like they're kicking around like a severed head. Okay?
Yeah, like I was gonna say, like what exactly
everywhere.
am I looking at? Like,
no, this isn't FIFA, guys. This is FIFA.
Yeah,
98. Which, like, of course, it's 2025 when we're playing the demo and this game is coming out. Like, but this is like a pretty 98 looking PS1 game.
Yeah, no kidding. It's wild.
It may not have made like the list of most played demos, but like, wow, this is kind of hilarious and great. They have enough of like a VHS CRT filter like over the graphics and stuff. Check out, the other videos and previews on Steam. There's even like first person views and cutscene, but I just did a little bit of exhibition. There's only like 2 teams you can play as, but man, there's room for a lot of just like wacky, crazy, gory horror things going on in this game.
Yeah, like I was just about to say, like, so what are like are there any like is this like Blood Bowl? Like, are people dying in between, like during the game, like, and then they're just out for the whole game, like like?
No, not quite, not yet. Not in the demo or the little brief exhibition that I played. I could barely even score a goal in this thing, but you know, there's only like 3 buttons to really figure out. There's like a sprint, a pass, and a shoot, and you can change characters on your defense team. So it feels kind of familiar to like any soccer game you may have played before. So I don't know what they're going to add, but it looks crazy and fun. So I only got to play a little exhibition match. I'm sure there's like a story, and I'm sure it only gets gorier the more modes that you end up playing in this game.
So how many modes are there?
Just the exhibition, and then you can, if you get the demo, you can actually play like couch co-op, or you can play against each other. So that's pretty much it.
Okay.
Demo. Yeah, but I mean the sort of the trailers on Steam and stuff definitely lead to like a lot more coming. But you got a little taste of the mechanics. There's all kinds of fun power-ups. There's like a warp, you might be seeing where that just like absolutely slows down time. So yeah, crazy magical like NFL blitz of a actual football/soccer game.
That sounds awesome for a funny little like horror spin-off. Like,
yeah, really. So
like just a weird, wacky horror version of FIFA with PS1 style graphics.
Yeah.
Like,
if you got a friend you can play some FIFA with, definitely try this out. And no cost to you. Check out the demo on Steam. Plug in 2 controllers and have at it. Just have a gory good time.
sounds good. FIFA 98 Steam Next Fest. And before we jump into our next demo impression for the first Berserker Kazan, Drix, what is this wacky little tune we got playing in the background?
This is an Amiga song from a little dragon protagonist you don't hear from much lately called Hoi, Hoi. This is the level 4 main theme.
Ooh, Hoi, main theme, CFM Radio. We'll be back.
CFM Radio.
Walking through my mind, it seems all my thoughts are hurting me. Tear my veins with apathy till I can no longer bleed. And it's dark in here. You can't save me if you try to. Hold it not to fear. I can't live without you near me. Here we go again, up against the wall, full of villain days, no regrets at all. Shocking up our travesty, feel my chest, it's hard to breathe, feeling out what's not to be. Make another killing spree. And it's dark in here. You can't save me if you try to. Hold it not to fear. I can't live without you near me. It's dark in here. You can't save me if you try to. Hold it not to fear. I can't live without you near me. You can't save me if you try to. I can't live without you.
Clusterfucked Media.
CFM Radio, we are back.
Yeah, that was from The Punisher on the PS2, a song by Alien Ant Farm that I don't think is on Spotify, called Dark in Here. And taking you from the PS2 to the 3DS, this is the theme of Black Pit from Kid Icarus Returns on the 3DS.
Hey, you know what? CFM Radio, give us a like, subscribe to the channel if you haven't already, because you're hearing Alien Ant Farm that's not on Spotify right here because it's locked away on the PS2.
Yep.
But we hear CFM Radio. We don't forget good video game music.
Yeah. I dig through the proverbial crates.
Finding that good stuff. Hey, man, we started off with an Amiga banger, and now we move into a PS2 banger from a relatively popular, we'll call them a one-hit wonder band, who are a lot of millennials, a very popular millennial one-hit wonder band. And you know what? That track, not on Spotify.
Yeah. So we might not get flagged for it. And then, of course, the 3DS banger.
Oh,
Black
hell
Theme
yeah.
That we got going on right now.
And hey, you know what? We're going to move from a rather musically charged transition here to into a game that I played that actually didn't have a lot of music in it. That was the last Berserker, Kazan.
Okay, yeah. So for fans of like anime Souls-like, was kind of the impression I got. I didn't get a chance to try this demo, but it was definitely something I was looking at.
Okay, so for those of you who don't know what the last Berserker Kazan is, the continuity it's part of, it's actually part of the Dungeon Fighter Online DNF like franchise. You might have known it. It was DNF Duel was the fighting game that came out, I think, a couple years ago, 1 or 2 years ago. Yeah.
It's been a while since I've heard that.
Yeah, so this is the Berserker character, and this is, I guess, his origin story. His name is Kazan. He is the first Berserker, and I guess this is like where all the Berserkers in DNF Duel come from. And it's I gotta tell you, as far as the Souls-like goes, it's pretty good. I like it. I thought it was pretty fun. I consider myself a Souls-like dude. I thought that, first of all, the visuals, the presentation, pretty good. You know, it's like a darker game, obviously, so you don't get to see the visuals. Like, you're sitting right now in the cutscene, you can kind of make it out, but it actually is
not in themes, but in appearance.
Right. It's when you see the protagonist's face right here, you kind of see what I mean. It's very like,
You know, make sure you have your screen settings adjusted for color and such.
true.
You know?
But the 3D style, as you can see, isn't like hyper realistic. It's quite anime when push comes to shove. But the sharp contrast with the heavily detailed armor and the weapons actually really make the whole game pop. It really gives the game its own attitude and personality. In the closest thing that you can. Whoa. We might. Oh no, we're good. Sorry if we had a bit of a hiccup, but no. So this game's anime style in its humans does a good contrast with the heavy details in the gear. And I gotta tell you, Drix, there's a lot of gear.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
That's sometimes an interesting selling point.
Yeah, so you go through in this demo. I played this demo. It was about 4-ish hours. So, you know, and Souls-like action, pretty action packed, very fast paced. You can do a good amount of combos, and you can set your opponent up for a lot of like sweet parries and interesting back and forths with your defensive maneuvers. A lot of good defense in this game for a Souls-like. It makes you feel very in control, but almost all of it takes good timing. As you can see, I missed a couple of timings right there, but when I finally got it, it gave me a big, like a parry, and I did it again right there, bam. So, and it leads to a big Souls-like finisher. So, you get them down, you hit there, you do the stamina gameplay, knock them down all the way down on the stamina, you get a big hit. The gear actually is pretty cool in the way where there's a couple of different weapons. You got a great sword you can dual wield, and you get a spear, and you can switch between them. You get a couple of different kinds of dual wields. They're all different weapon classifications, and within those classifications, you get a couple of different weapons of each, like a couple of different weapon varieties. When it comes to the gear, as you're seeing on the screen right now, on one of them, Kazan was wearing like a little like headdress. Now he's in like a full helmet. There are some of them where you're in like just like a half plate, and you're like, you got half your body out and exposed. And then there are some right now you have full armor. So a lot of different aesthetics, a lot of different types of gameplay that you can embrace. But one of the cool things that I think makes this stand out more than many other Souls likes is not just how fast it is, but how fast it is when combined with the level design. Because I don't know if the rest of the game is going to be like this, but the verticality of the level that are the levels that were on display, on display in the demo were pretty cool. You can't jump. You don't do a lot of jumping, not even like commands, right? Like a command jump. Like what is it? Context sensitive jumping, let's say. Like there's not a lot of that.
Yes.
But there is a lot
Really?
of.
Then how do you have verticality?
Well, you travel up a lot of staircases, you go through a lot of caves, and then you unlock little shortcuts. Like Kazan kicks over a.
Or just fall.
Yeah, you fall. Yeah, you fall. There's a lot of falling, but you kick over like little carts, or you bring down ladders. You know what I mean? You make little shortcuts for yourself, and it's very Souls-like. But when you're moving through these vertical levels, facing down enemies that mix up their attack speed, but the overall vibe is relatively fast once the action starts going. It all comes together relatively well. And like I said, as someone who really likes the Souls style of combat and gameplay flow, I had a lot of fun with this. You're seeing one of the more unique things you're seeing on the screen right now is the enemies can fight each other. So it's cool if you just So it's cool you could just kick it, sometimes let them fight each other, and then just go in, get see, I'm going in right now, getting that brutal blow.
Nope.
And I go in there for the kill steal. So there's a lot of fun little interactions like this, but I will say, Drix, when it comes down to core gameplay, there isn't a lot to write home about. There isn't. You could use items. You have your little Dark Souls Estus flask system, where you can get some life back.
The old flask.
Yeah, you get some life back on like a timer. You have 3 charges. They recharge when you.
You probably need to enjoy it being.
Enjoy what?
Oh, enjoy it being a little faster than most Souls games, or faster than like Stellar Blade.
Yeah,
probably a lot of the same Souls mechanics we've seen.
The speed helps. It helps you not feel so like monotonous. It definitely keeps the edge of the overall vibe of the.
Not a dull moment.
Yeah. The overall vibe of the super brutal enemies explode into huge explosions of blood, brutal vibe of the game. It keeps that really locked in when you're surrounded by a bunch of dudes and then you cut through 3 of them, and then you parry the attacks of 2 or the next 2, and then you cut them down. You know what I mean? Everyone explodes into huge blood, explosions of blood, and or falls off an edge. You know what I mean? It's pretty fun. It keeps you engaged.
Nice.
There's light ranged combat. You have little spears you can throw, but there's, it's one of those things where it's if you died against an archer you didn't see, maybe you should this time you should snipe him.
Just throw something at him.
Yeah.
What if you need to stab him, but he's over there?
Exactly. That's really what it boils down to. So it's not too demanding. It's not like Devil May Cry-esque. I would even dare say it's it's a little bit more basic than your average run-of-the-mill Souls this game really boils these concepts down to something that feels pretty mashy at the end of the day. I'm not gonna lie, but like I said, the pace of the action, the fundamentals are pretty low intensity, but that's because the high intensity comes from the amount of enemies that you fight and how fast they're coming at you.
I kind of like the sound of that.
Yeah, it gets pretty intense. There are times when, you get little beginner traps Like there are a couple of beginner traps where like you get surrounded, like you think you could sneak up on a monkey, but then you try to do the sneak attack on the monkey, and then his friend comes up from behind and drop kicks you off the side of the ledge, and you're like, God damn it! Then later
Surprise!
later on in that same sequence, you get jumped by a bunch of monkeys. You fight them off, and then you start dropping from area to area to area. And as you drop onto these platforms, more monkeys ambush you. So it gets pretty intense.
More fun than a barrel of monkeys, I bet.
Absolutely. I definitely had a lot of fun playing The Last Berserker. Kazan comes out later this month, March 20, I believe, 7th. So if you're into the Souls-like style of game, but you want one that actually has like the anime style high intensity and doesn't just kind of flirt with it like a game like Code Vein does, you definitely want to check this one out. The demo is out. PC, Xbox, PS5 right now. The Last Berserker, Kazan, Drix. I think this is going to be pretty cool for those guys who really want to see this genre take that leap into the hyper action realm.
Yeah, gotta go fast. That sounds like a good time.
I definitely had a lot of fun with it. I don't know if I'm actually sold. I'm gonna say it like this. I don't know if I'm actually sold on the game. I don't know if I'm gonna pick it up. But this one,
Buy it day one.
right? It definitely looks like one you're gonna want to try to pick up on sale, though.
Yeah, I've got a nice backlog of stuff that just came out in 2025 that I need to pick up. Like
Yeah,
Dynasty
seriously.
Warriors and Monster Hunter.
Yeah, Dynasty Warriors, same here.
Yeah.
But that's The Last Berserker, Kazan.
Yep.
And I do believe that the next thing that we have on the agenda is new releases, but we're going to take a quick break because this epic track, we got to let it rock. Drix, what are we listening to?
This is a funny little Japanese character named Ernest Evans. He's got some Sega Mega Drive, Sega CD games. He kind of takes after Indiana Jones, but this is Ernest Evans for the Sega CD, the final boss music.
Well, Ernest Evans, Sega CD, CFM Radio. We will be back.
Clusterfucked Media.
Intruder alert, sound and symbol. This be the war of the Shaolin Temple. It's time to restack my gun. We the ones that'll come through and smack sparks out your art, with the exception of a few that respected it for what it was. Sick venomous syndrome. Studied many styles, but this tactic I've adapted and made it my own. Feeling right in his Zach at home. Splitting your head with the chrome. He's one who sees he's a threat. He couldn't have made it through all the vaccines and quarantines. We hit him with to slow the gases, so he couldn't teach the masses. But still, he came in the name of Wu-Tang to nourish the brain. Ultra alert, sound and symbol. This be the war of the Shaolin Temple. It's time to stack my gun. We the ones that'll come through and smack sparks out your art, with the exception of a few that respected it for what it was. Sick venomous syndrome. Studied many styles, but this tactic I've adapted and made it my own. Feeling right in Zach at home. Splitting your head with the chrome. He's one who sees he's a threat. He couldn't have made it through all the vaccines and quarantines. We hit him with the slow the gases, so he couldn't teach the masses. But still, he came in the name of Wu-Tang to nourish the brain.
CFM Radio, we are back.
Man, in case you weren't aware, there was a PS1 game called Wu-Tang Shaolin Style. That track was called Shaolin Temple, and it came in the name of Wu-Tang. What a fighting game that was.
What a
in
fighting
the early
game.
days of 3D.
Not as bad as Shaq Fu, but not as good as Mortal Kombat.
Yep, truly 36 chambers there were.
Yeah, indeed there were. You know, hey, anything's better than Star Wars Masters of Terras Kasi, huh? So,
Ooh, Tira Kasai, man. I hope somebody didn't buy that arcade cabinet.
was there an arcade cabinet of that? Oh my god!
I feel like I saw it at a GameWorks ages ago.
Holy shit! I gotta figure.
That and the Sonic fighting game.
I know there's Sonic Fighters arcade machine. Terras Kasai. Fuck it, I'm gonna look that up after this show. God damn it.
Yeah,
Like-
I could be
like-
wrong. Don't quote me on that.
Anyway, Drix, you have more Next Fest for us, don't you? But
Yeah, a little bit.
But what I have is new releases, because it's a big day for new releases tomorrow.
Yeah, got some big ones for you JRPG fans.
Oh
Maybe
yeah.
even a new hero shooter.
Oh, you know what? We're just going to jump right into it right now, because the first one we're going to talk about is one that all the critics have been loving. It is Split Fiction.
Ooh, get ready to dodge, duck, dip, dive, and dodge.
Yeah, I guess so, because from the Steam page, quote, Split Fiction is a unique action-adventure experience that keeps you on the edge of your couch with unexpected moments. 1 minute, you're taming adorable dragons, and the next, you're fighting as cyber ninjas, escaping terrifying trolls, or dodging hover cars thrown by a robotic parking attendant. It's weird, it's wild, and it's designed to be shared. Split Fiction releases tomorrow, Thursday, March 6th, for PC, PS5, and Xbox Series consoles. And Drix, this is one of the same people who made It Takes Two, so I'm sure it's got to be pretty good.
Yeah, a lot of moving around, a lot of fun to be had with your local friends.
Indeed, that is Split Fiction, and it's coming at you tomorrow, March 6th. That's a Thursday. Next up, we've got what you were alluding to, Drix. It is the Suikoden 1 and 2 HD remaster.
Time to enjoy some classic RPGs in higher definition.
From the Steam page, quote, a hero's destiny is written in the stars. The legendary Konami JRPGs Suikoden and Suikoden 2 have now been remastered in HD. The game's remastered features all new background illustrations, upgraded into HD, updated effects that breathe new life into the pixel art animation, new environmental sounds to immerse yourself in this fantasy world. Battle sound effects are now also HD and at a new level of realism. Newly added autosave, battle fast forward, and a conversation log. Hey, you know what, Drix? Conversation log. Right there. Premium.
Yeah, exactly. These are some real quality of life features. You may have really wanted playing this in its original context.
I don't know about you, but I play too many mobile games for these old school turn-based RPGs. They're too slow. I need that battle fast forward.
Yeah, we've got a lot more to do with our time now.
Suikoden 1 and 2 Remastered releases tomorrow, Thursday, March 6th for PC, PS5, PS4, Xbox One, Xbox Series consoles, and Nintendo Switch. Drix is on everything.
Yeah, still coming to you everywhere you want to play something old but new.
Some Suikoden, and that is coming at you tomorrow. Finally, like you said earlier, again, another one you were alluding to, it is Fragpunk.
Yeah, throw another hero shooter on the pile. But
Why
this
not?
one looks okay.
It does, yeah, it looks all right. It's
got some stuff going on. Looks a little different.
Yeah, from the Steam page, quote, Fragpunk is a fast-paced 5v5 hero shooter with power-up cards that change the rules of each round. Choose your hero, your weapons, and pick from a selection of cards that dramatically change the rules of engagement. Fragpunk hits PS5, Xbox Series consoles, and PCs tomorrow, Thursday, March 6th. Drix, that's a lot of games.
Yeah, definitely. We'll see how high the player count gets for this latest hero shooter. Because the JRPG fans, they'll probably pick up Suikoden.
But these Fragpunk guys, they gotta really come out for this game if you really want to get some games in.
You ever play Overwatch or Valorant or Paladins and just think like, man, where are all the cards at?
Yeah, where are the cards?
But cards that like break the game and the rules.
Where are they? I want more. And
give me some more cards in my hero shooters.
That's Fragpunk coming at you tomorrow, March 6th. We'll see how it does. We'll see. We'll come back with you see if this makes the headlines for next week. CFM Radio.
Yes, indeed.
And before we take our last break of the evening, Drix, what is the next demo from Steam Next Fest that caught your eye?
The Mecha Dragon fighting game.
Are you talking about Mecha Knights Legends?
Yes. We'll do that one next.
Oh, well, let's jump right into it. Mecha Knights Legends, how'd you like it? We got it right here on the screen.
Nice. So there was another, speaking of free-to-play games, there was another like Mecha Break game that I didn't get the chance to try because I didn't really want to be social, but there's also another free-to-play coming up in the Next Fest. Speaking of not wanting to be social, there was also Among Us 3D that we mentioned last week, but you can kind of allude to how that would have turned out if you play with your friends.
Yeah.
But Mecha Knights Legends, it's got that cel-shaded flavor that I love, and thanks to the guy who posted this on YouTube earlier, this sweet footage, because his frame rate was a lot faster than mine was when I was playing this on the PCs that I have available.
And that is Beelz, Beelz on YouTube. Thank you.
Yeah, but I pretty much got through the tutorial, and I was really liking what I'm seeing because I'm an Armored Core fan. Vector and I like my mecha.
Right. Yeah.
So, but this, early on you can take an oath to either fight the dragon, protect the town, or just answer the call of battle. So you have these kind of medieval conditions that you're fighting in like a steampunk mech against dragons, as you can see in the B-roll.
Yeah.
So there's definitely there's some cool mechanics that come into play. You can boost around, you can kind of sprint after boosting, but also temperature is something that you got to manage. You can like overheat, especially when fighting dragons and they're shooting fire at you. And
oh, Jesus. Okay.
Yeah. So you hit a button like Y or something to cool down and just have a nice little blast and keep from overheating in your medieval mech. Meanwhile, there's like peasants running around and you're trying not to burninate all their thatch roof cottages and things. But at the same time, you gotta fight you got to defend this village from a giant dragon and try not to destroy it in the process. So, medieval kaiju battles, the game,
And
in
it
a
looks
giant
pretty
mech.
bloody. Like,
Yeah, it's bloody and the graphics are great. A lot of the stuff, except for anything explicitly like pixel themed or retro, a lot of the stuff coming out on the Steam Next Fest just looks great. And I was really pushing my graphics cards playing these demos and stuff. It was running a little warm. I almost had to use my Steam to cool down the temperatures and stuff. Not just Steam, the shop that I'm downloading all these demos on. But yeah, so interactive, kaiju versus mecha battles in a medieval setting, boosting around pretty fast and just slow, heavy, hard hits in this Mecha Knights Legends game. This is definitely something that piqued my interest, and I'm glad I got to enjoy this demo. Still available, I think. It's not one of the terminated demos that was on a limited time deal. You know what I mean?
yeah, that's kind of. I'm still trying to wrap my mind around that they take away some of these.
Yeah.
That's kind of wild.
I'm sure they'll be back, but there was a couple that I wanted to try and I didn't get a chance to. I even had it downloaded and it was like, nope, sorry, you are not authorized.
Well, damn. All right. Hey, you know what? Sounds great though, and that is what is this? Mecha Knights Legends.
Mecha Knights Legends
on the Steam Next Fest. You definitely want to check this one out. Definitely looks pretty fun. Definitely super bloody. I like that. But we're gonna take a quick break.
Yeah.
And we'll be right back. And Drix is gonna talk about. He's gonna close out the show with the final of one last game that caught his eye during the Steam Next Fest. But Drix, again, these epic tracks that you've got going on. What are we listening to here?
Right now we've got the Star Fox game from the Wii U, Star Fox Zero. This is Area 3, a song called Neighboring Space from Star Fox Zero.
Neighboring Space, Star Fox Zero, CFM Radio.
Clusterfucked Media. CFM Radio.
We'll be back.
driving me crazy, but you the one that's fucking crazy. And it's time for me to run. Yeah, it's time for me to go. I will stick around for you.
CFM Radio, we are back. Drix, are you with me?
Yo. Okay.
There we go.
That last track was called Numb from a game called Cyber Outrun, which I just checked on Steam is on sale for 74 cents.
Whoa.
And I pay more for pinball, so it's worth it just for the soundtrack.
Yeah, you know, it's a soundtrack with a bonus game. Kind of like Guilty Gear.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. And one of the tracks features a DJ called Sullivan King, who you may or may not be familiar with, is kind of a metal dubstep guy.
Oh, all right.
Singing on his own song, screaming and the like.
Nice. Well,
yeah, but yeah, this song's from Outrun 2019 on the Sega Genesis.
And M. Stonewall C is absolutely correct. Sword Mech versus Dragon is pretty badass, not gonna lie. But I think Drix played another pretty badass game on the Steam Next Fest that we're gonna close the show out with.
Yeah, get ready to check this one out, because it's called Neo Junk City. And as you may or may not have heard from the music and visuals on Clusterfuck Media presents CFM Radio, we're retro fans here. So this game not only is pixel art, but is actually like super highly reminiscent of point and click adventure games from the 90s and stuff, and before even. But
And even
Neo
more
Junk
from the B-roll that we're going on right now. We're driving.
yeah, so something you wouldn't expect, definitely a modern take on these series, but the story is you're kind of a RoboCop, you know. You're a female-looking robot called a Buster, and people around your cyberpunk town kind of know you as a cop, as a law enforcement device, you know.
Oh,
But-
okay.
Yeah. So, in true like Snatcher police knots kind of fashion, the game kind of opens up with a mystery where the Buster that you play as is kind of framed, you know, immediately after the title screen, and so this you kind of start off immediately breaking your whole coding and being like, oh man, do I prioritize, you know, justice, or do I follow, you know, my base code instincts? Do I hand myself in, or do I try to solve the crime at hand?
Oh, okay.
So yeah, you'll see a little bit of the investigation that goes on, but you can maneuver with your keyboard, but you're going to do a lot of clicking on things. You're going to do a lot of looking at stuff, and you're going to try to solve things going on in this cool pixel art but like super cyberpunk world with your neon turquoise greens and purples everywhere and
I love the
bright
colors.
colors. It's really fun to look at, and I really enjoyed like all the characters that I was running into. Even during the tutorial, like I didn't add the B-roll for this part, but you're supposed to look at a gas tank and a water can, and they actually have like the opposite inside of them. The water tank has gas, and the
Oh,
gas tank
Jesus.
has water in it, and it's like, oh. And the tutorial, your robot friend's like, oh, put me out, please use water. And you're just like, okay, clearly this is water. No, you gotta look, you gotta investigate, you gotta put on your little gumshoe detective thinking caps on first. And it's like, don't fall for this. It's very early on, you know. But yeah, there's a mystery to solve, and there's not just pointing and clicking and investigating things, but you also get to do a good bit of shooting. You get to blast not just stuff in the environment, but there's kind of like, you know, little Wild West lethal enforcers, you know, Gunstar Heroes moments where you're like taking out actual bad guys like with your mouse. I was playing mouse and keyboard, which is I don't think you can really play this as well on a controller because of the amount of like pointing out objects you have to do. You can see like, you know, a dead scientist that we're clicking around. We're looking for evidence. We gotta like use items on other objects in the environment. It's really cool.
Myst
Kind of gets you
style.
thinking. Yeah, Myst or Maniac Mansion. So, but not only that, you also get your action-packed shooting. You get your sweet driving courses, and for controlling with like WASD or like arrow keys, the driving was actually really fun and something I definitely want to come
Okay.
back to. and do
Wow.
some
All
more.
right.
Yeah, pink and green, everything. Cyberpunk, you know, new retro wave aesthetic.
Good arrow
Really fun,
key
cool.
driving. What?
Yeah, kind of unheard of, you know. But it was pretty cool, and I really thought this was something that was like pretty diverse and not a lot. You don't usually see a package in gaming quite like this, where you get to do a modern point and click adventure, but also shoot and drive a car really fast.
Yeah, it definitely sounds like a hell of a package. What was this called? Neo Junk City?
Neo Junk City.
Huh.
Yeah, it's what the kids call a vibe, man.
Yeah, you're not kidding. It's definitely nails all of the retro aesthetics, like you just said. Really love the eclectic blend of gameplay from point and click, like real sounding like old school style point and click, Myst style, too, blending it with this like weird pseudo platforming, right? That's going on. We're seeing on the screen right here. Then point and click shooting with driving. Like, man, in this crazy pixel cyberpunk world, this just sounds sweet.
Yeah, it's a pretty complete package that's as we like to say, like decidedly old school, but in all the right ways.
Yeah, definitely seems that way. It nails the vibe. I love the cyberpunk noir style. The pixel art is absolutely amazing. This right here, you're seeing it on the B-roll right now. This shot right here looks excellent. Like, if the game is made up of shots like this, plus those like same kind of high intensity driving sequences, plus some good shooting, man, this game's definitely going to be one to look out for.
Yeah, some pretty tough choices to make. I was really hooked by the demo and everything that it presented. So definitely something I wanted to shine a little light on here on CFM Radio in our Steam Next Fest discussions.
Sounds good to me. And one more time, this was Neo Junk City from the Steam Next Fest. And is this one still up?
Yeah, this one I believe you still can play and check out. So go give it a shot. See if you aren't bit by the cyberpunk bug, because I know that hits one of my sweet spots, and I just kind of fall in love with anything in that regard.
Well, damn. Here we go. And you know what, Drix? With all of the awesome demos that you showed us, I mean, I feel like the low man on the totem pole. Last Berserker Kazan has been out for a minute. I want to jump on this Neo Junk City. Looks awesome.
Yeah, give it a shot. Or, we can always join up on some Among Us 3D later.
Among Us 3D, absolutely. And you know what? We hope everybody...
Sus.
I hope nobody listening is sus, but I hope everybody had a great show. I hope you loved all the music that we played, and I hope you guys check out some of these Steam Next Fest games, because next week we are coming back with some news. We got some big news in the video game world that we passed by. These last few weeks, pretty inundated with a lot of reviews, impressions. Steam Next Fest was crazy. I think there was like 500 demos that you could play over the course of a week. Some of them aren't even there anymore, Drix says. What the hell? Yeah. You needed to literally be there.
Yeah, you had to attend the festival.
Yeah, this online event.
Yep. Come on down and participate in the Steam community. And, if you're a console kind of person, if you happen to pay for that PlayStation subscription, don't forget to check out Dragon Age.
Dragon Age the Veilguard. Sonic Colors. Cowabunga collection should be awesome.
Cowabunga. Yeah, do yourself some sewer surfing. I like to do that.
Absolutely. And you hear the music, guys. That means we are sewer surfing on out of here. Thank you so much for joining us, M. Stonewall C. Everybody in our chat. We love our listeners. We love our viewers. We love everybody who checks out the VODs. And hey, everybody, make sure you drop us a like, subscribe to us, check us out over on Twitch, twitch.tv/CFM on Twitch. All the gameplay is over there.
Yeah, we'll be playing more games on Twitch, posting more updates on Facebook, Instagram, TikTok.
Absolutely. Always check out TikTok, always check out Facebook, always check out Instagram, and make sure that you have, again, the subscription right here. Clusterfucked Media on YouTube, CFM Radio, Drix. We're out.
Have a good night, guys. We'll see you next week.
See you next week. Later.